Wait, that's another nail. All right, that is incredible. This is insane. Josh Gates is on a thrilling quest to uncover the mystery of John Dillinger, a legendary American robber during the Great Depression. Born on June 22, 1903, in Indianapolis, Indiana, Dillinger was known for his daring heists and captivating appearance, earning him the nickname Public Enemy Number 1. His gang, which included famous individuals like Babyface Nelson and Homer Van Meter, was responsible for numerous high-profile bank robberies throughout the Midwest. However, Dillinger's criminal acts caught up with him, and he was caught in Tucson, Arizona, in January 1934, but escaped using a fake pistol crafted from wood. After escaping, Dillinger committed a series of bank robberies, escaping detection for several months. On July 22, 1934, Dillinger was shot by federal authorities outside the Biograph Theater in Chicago. His death secured his position as one of the most renowned criminals of the 20th century. In addition to his illegal activities, Dillinger possessed a charming personality that attracted everyone around him. His charm and humor were exploited to avoid arrest and earn popular support. Josh senses a huge secret hidden on the John Dillinger family's land, which is currently owned by his nephew Mike Thompson and great-nephew Travis. Family members have always passed down information about buried wealth, leading to a quest to find the hidden treasure. During the hunt, they discover a mason jar containing unusual artifacts, including a 1934 Shell Road map. The map suggests an ancient history and a link to Dillinger's criminal operations, with a blue line tracing a path from Great Falls, Montana, up into Canada via Winnipeg, south through Iowa, Kansas City, and eventually Wichita. The team questions the relevance of the noted routes and dates, wondering if it was a planned path for Dillinger and his group to target other banks or pointers to secret stores of money or jewels along the way. The discovery of the shell map confirms the family history of buried money on the farm, suggesting that there may be further hidden wealth waiting to be discovered. Stewart and his team searched the area for a mysterious jar, which they discovered at the depths of a ravine. They found a mason jar, another jar, and 2 metal items, all from the Dillinger era. The jars had been buried for at least 87 years since the time of John Dillinger's illegal operations. The second jar was smaller than the first but was fully intact with the lid securely fastened. Inside, they found a small amount of trash and 2 metal items. The extraordinary preservation of the jars reflected their artistry and the quality of the materials used. Behind the first 3 jars, the crew discovered a shattered piece of glass and evidence that something was hidden inside a cloth. Further investigation revealed a metal item that initially appeared to be a coin, but was later discovered to be a shotgun round manufactured from 1896 to 1930, falling precisely within the Dillinger period. This gave a highly personal and heartbreaking aspect to the finding, humanizing Dillinger and reminding the squad that he was more than a criminal genius. He was also a young man who had spent time on the Dillinger farm. The discovery of these artifacts provided a detailed picture of life on the Dillinger farm in the early 20th century. It was a moment of adversity and struggle, but also of optimism and opportunity. Each item discovered contributed to the story, revealing more about Dillinger's life and the mysteries buried on the estate. Josh approached the 2 family members with a lingering question. Did they consider John Dillinger as a Robin Hood figure, someone who, despite his illegal actions, was known for stealing from the wealthy and giving to the poor? The family members considered that Dillinger had been shown in various ways throughout the years, with some seeing him as a criminal and others more sympathetic. The family members also discussed the emotional toll Dillinger's misdeeds had on his family, showing newsreel video of his father visiting him after his visit to the farm. The video portrayed the family's agony and sadness as a result of Dillinger's crimes, showing that despite his illegal activities, Dillinger's family loved and cared for him. Understanding Dillinger's human side deepened the plot and highlighted the impact of his actions on people around him. After visiting the Dillinger family, Josh and his team discovered a sealed coffin thousands of years old, likely intended for a youngster, possibly a baby. This discovery shed light on the burial customs of the ancient culture that occupied the area. The coffin's placement against the exterior of a wealthy Old Kingdom burial hole indicated that it was added after the Old Kingdom's demise. It seemed likely that the child's family, unable to build their own tomb, decided to bury their child on the edge of another's tomb. As the desert winds picked up, The workers decided to relocate their activity to a nearby tent to preserve the delicate artifacts. However, Josh and the rest of the squad chose to remain outside, anxious to continue their quest for new riches. They discovered a piece of gold that looked like part of a necklace, which indicated the riches and rank of the child's family, as gold was a rare metal reserved for the privileged in ancient cultures. Continuing their search, they discovered an ancient vase, which they placed in the tent for safety. Josh suggested that this vase was probably intended to accompany the child's coffin into the afterlife, as ancient tribes often buried the deceased with objects that would be beneficial in the afterlife, such as food, clothes, and personal possessions. To their astonishment, they discovered another basket, which appeared to be a two-piece vessel. This deepened the mystery and complexity of the burial site, suggesting that the child's burial was part of a wider and more careful funeral practice. After examining the casket, the team put on masks to avoid breathing potentially hazardous old spores or dust. They slowly opened the lid to show the contents inside, finding one earring that they assumed was ivory. This led them to believe that the casket belonged to a female. Despite the deteriorating condition of the coffin, the researchers uncovered beads from a necklace composed of earth and quartz, which had been glazed to a shining gloss. They carefully gathered the loose beads, understanding that they would need to be preserved and rebuilt in the future to return the necklace to its former splendor. The discovery of the necklace added to the find's mystery and beauty, providing insight into the lives and culture of the ancient society that had so carefully and reverently buried its children. The story of El Dorado, a legendary city in South America, has fascinated explorers and historians for generations. The mythology of El Dorado is both captivating and hazardous, with many Spanish conquistadors exploring the depths of South America in search of this legendary city composed of gold. However, the truth of El Dorado is more complicated than that. While there is evidence of ancient civilizations in the region with gold and other expensive goods, the concept of a single rich city constructed entirely of gold is most likely a fantasy. Instead, El Dorado is thought to have been a symbolic location expressing the wealth and power of many indigenous nations in South America. Recent archaeological findings have shed additional light on the El Dorado tale, highlighting the complexities of the civilizations that previously existed in this region. One such finding is the quest for a long-forgotten cave that is said to house Colombia's most valuable gold. This enigmatic cave is claimed to have been the location where indigenous peoples left offerings of gold, pottery, and other costly artifacts as part of their religious ceremonies. Another intriguing find is the uncovering of graves belonging to a great ancient civilization near Colombia's enigmatic Stonehenge, known as El Infierno or Little Hell, which is supposed to have served as an important ritual center for the ancient Muisca people. Josh Gates starts his dangerous mission to discover the truth about El Dorado by trekking 50 miles from Bogotá into the Andes foothills to Sesquil, a holy site for the Muisca people. Recognizing the value of local knowledge and experience, Josh asks for the assistance of an old friend, Ashley Cowie, who has spent years cultivating ties with local tribal elders. The Muisca civilization was divided into chiefdoms, each headed by a cacique chief who ruled over a specified region. They practiced agriculture on terrace slopes, growing maize, potatoes, beans, and squash. As Josh and Ashley go into the jungle, they are overwhelmed with surprise and amazement. The deep jungle conceals a secret world of ancient structures and artifacts unaffected by contemporary society. The remains are a tribute to the creativity and workmanship of the region's ancient inhabitants, and they contain the key to revealing El Dorado's mysteries. When Josh and Ashley arrive in the Muisca town of Sogamoso, the inhabitants embrace them warmly and are ready to share their knowledge and customs. The community, noted for its strong connection to the land and its past, offers important insights into Muisca culture and beliefs. As Josh and Ashley explore the ruins, they are astonished by the monument's size and complexity. Each find gets them closer to solving the secrets of El Dorado and comprehending the Muisca civilization's heritage. However, the path is not without hurdles. Josh and Ashley's stamina and willpower are put to the test as they navigate the dense jungle environment and unexpected weather, but their ambition to learn the truth motivates them ahead, taking them further into the heart of the jungle and closer to the mysteries lying under the surface. The Muisca people, an indigenous group in Colombia, believed in Chimanagagua, a creator who created both the sun and moon. Gold was considered a valuable material in their society, representing the sun's life-giving energy. The Museum of Gold in Bogotá showcases an extraordinary collection of over 55,000 gold pieces, which represents only around 5% of the entire gold gifts made by the Muisca people to their gods. The Muisca were famous for their complex gold work, created using a method called lost wax casting to produce elaborate designs and figures. Josh and his friends set out to explore Colombia's most holy area, the Temple of the Sun. They encounter Carlos Candel, the community's leader, who guides them through the details of Muisca society. The rituals involved in this sacred space include tobacco, coca, cleaning offerings, cotton balls, and chicha, a holy and mildly intoxicating fermented maize drink. The Muisca used rituals to establish their cultural identity while maintaining a spiritual connection with their ancestors and the natural environment around them. Josh and Ashley embark on a trek from the Temple of the Sun to the Muisca People's Ceremonial Center at Lake Guatavita, a place rich in El Dorado legend. According to Candel and Ashley Cowie, the myth of El Dorado originated from a ritual conducted at this lake, making it an important place for understanding Muisca culture and history. The distinctive golden raft on exhibit at the Museum of Gold is a symbolic portrayal of a real raft used in ceremonies on Lake Guatavita during the coronation ceremony. The Muisca king, known as the Zipa, stood on the raft, surrounded by attendants. This ritual celebrated the king's installation and was an important event in Muisca society, representing the ruler's spiritual and political authority. Lake Guatavita possessed great spiritual importance for the Muisca people. Thousands would flock to see the ascent of their gold-covered emperor, known as the Zipa, who would dive into the lake, symbolizing his transformation into El Dorado, the Golden Man. The El Dorado myth demonstrates the continuing importance of myth and narrative in human civilization. The appeal of the unknown, combined with the promise of limitless wealth, ignited centuries of explorers' imaginations, pushing them into undiscovered territory in pursuit of this mythical city of gold. The narrative of El Dorado continues to fascinate people worldwide, demonstrating the everlasting draw of adventure and the pursuit of wealth. The stories of El Dorado and the intriguing story of the Muisca people remind us of the power of myth and the never-ending hunt for wealth. As Josh Gates wraps up his journey through the strange world of John Dillinger's stolen money, the attraction of hidden treasures and the thrill of adventure continue to fascinate our imaginations.